SAP Cloud for Dummies, setting up your purchase order approval rules. Ever wonder how a purchase order gets approved in a company? It's not magic in SAP Cloud. You set up workflows that smart act as a smart approval rules. This ensures the right people review and approve purchase based on criteria like amount or who is doing the buying. For SAP beginner, let's break down how you, um, as a configuration expert, can set up this rule. So, what is the purpose of PO approval workflow? Imagine your company has rules. For example, any purchase order over 5,500 needs manager approval. POs from a specific purchasing group, example 001, 003, need approval for the IT director. Workflow automates these rules. They make sure the right eyes see the purchase order before it is sent to the vendor, ensuring compliance and budget control. Prerequisite before you start, make sure flexible workflow for purchasing document A and B, for example, for the PO is activated in your system. For that, this is the foundation of on the CBC, Central Business Configuration, that allow you to configure this rule. How to configure your PO approval workflow simplify for dummies. So let's go. So log on as a configuration expert. Business process configuration. Why? You need special permission to set up this system-wide rule. This will give you access to the configuration tools. Okay, so then open manage workflow for purchase order. Manage workflow for purchase order. Very simple. Manage workflow for purchase order. Why? This is your dedicated control center for all things PO approval. It is where you define new rules or change existing one. So create your new approval workflow. Suppose you are building a brand new role. Choose add and give your workflow a clear name. Great. New workflow demo. So only delete from today and tomorrow just for make some tests and to show you how it works. Define precondition. So start condition. So, right? This is the heat part of your rule. For example one, if purchasing group of purchase order is 003, you are saying if the PO is handled by purchasing group 003. Example two, and total net amount is greater than 500 or 5,000 euro, you are heading M. The total value of the PO is more than 500 or 5,000. You can add multiply condition, specific company code, material group, and then add a specific precondition with the custom fields and custom logic. So I'll show you all these fields in Sonar and I explain custom fields and custom logic if you want to add some precondition. So document type of the purchase order is NB. Alternative is or if you want to. Another condition is and the total length amount is 500 euro. And I can add, for example, is only for the material group. Material group is, for example, semi-finished, for example, for raw material, for example, raw material. Okay, that is good point. So you define the precondition. That is not finished. That is the next step is define step sequence. This is the this is the then part. Whoa, approved and how. Choose, add, and set a type. Release of purchase order. Define recipient. Who needs to approve? Set assignment by user. Then select the specific user, which is purchasing manager for the value up, or the responsible of the cost center, your manager, a team. Set step to be completed by one of the recipients. If multiple approvers are listed, anyone can approve. Choose OK, then add and finally save. So I'll show you right now. I click on create. Okay. And then I select release of purchase order. And then I define recipient, role or user. If you stay roles, in the roles you have, for example, role, body, manager of last approval, manager of workflow initiator, manager of workflow manager, of personal purchasing. When you say version purchasing, strategic purchasing, that you have defined a team previously. And that is essential for workflow administration. Means that is included in managed team and managed team. That you have a dedicated hub for that. So, for example, I can define a person purchasing one of the recipients. Yes. So, for example, it is the first step. This is the first level, one of the recipients. Then I click on create. But I can add another, for example, level. For example, that the approval start with the at the beginning with the amount of 500 euro, and I can create a step one, two. If, for example, a release of purchase orders, if the amount is five, 50, 50,000, for example, euro, and I defined that rolled, and I define strategic purchasing, and I go into if the total net amount is greater than, okay, and I create again, and so on. I define one by one all the step condition. Okay, so right now I'm able to save, and the last is activate. So activate your workflow item. Purpose, your rule is created, but it's not active yet. You need to switch it on. Select the workflow you just created and choose activate. Okay? But again, it's not completely finished because um, the I want to, you see that the new workflow is there. So the system checked before that this one, and then if it did not find um, any precondition, okay, it checked that new workflow. But if I want to move it, I just have to click define order and to put in at the first position like this, and I click on save. Okay, I see right now that my new workflow is at the first position. That important note, make sure the default workflow automatic release of purchase order. I show you automatic. This one is okay. It's really important. Um, is also activated. This act as a fallback for purchase order that don't need any of your specific approval. They will be automatically approved if no other rules applies. Okay. The dummies takeaway. Configuring purchase order workflow meet seems complex, but it's about telling SAP if these conditions are met, then send it to this person for approval. It's a powerful way to bring structure and control to your purchasing process. So right now, I'm able to show you a demonstration. So we go back inside the workflow. That the precondition is NB 5,000 and raw material L002. So it's good. So I will call directly recent activity, manage purchase order. Just for this demo, I just show you how to create by copy and to see exactly the amount. So I select standard and purchase order date today. Okay, take this first one. So I I say, for example, approved automatically. So if I click on create, the most important right now, I check the first things. If I remember that semi-finish, for example, semi-finish is not good. So I need to add, if I go to approval detail, in this case, is automatic release of purchase order. But right now, if for example I had to this document, I click on create and B 5,000 and raw material for the type. If I material Then go, display, that is project group. We will put 1 kilo. So right now, fifth approval detail. For the moment, you see, right now, I got release of purchase order of personal purchasing. You see right now the differences? And for example, I just want to activate right now the amount. I change, for example, I define that the price is 5 and I order 10 kilogram, the value right now. And if I go, I show you again approval detail. And right now I order. I go to the approval detail. Ready playing. If the amount is less than, what is the differences? Edit. Okay, because there's some features. I'll show you also in advanced. You have exactly the same things in the flexible workflow. If I change, for example, and I define right now, for example, one, I check, you see, skip. So in the next video, I will show you how to release the purchase order. So it's very simple to configure and to check directly in the application in manage purchase order or create purchase order advanced or display purchase order advanced. Very flexible workflow. Thank you so much.